Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your host, Norman Murray. Welcome to another episode of the Building Bridges podcast. For my regular listeners, I appreciate you and your support. And to those first timers, welcome to the podcast. I pray something is said that inspires you or at least gets you thinking. If you want to hear and view some additional content, there is a link right under the description of this episode, along with the link to support us. All right, let's build a bridge. So today's episode: success is subjective. So let's examine why I say that success is subjective. So as you know me, first we'll start with the definition of success. And I put a compilation of them together. So let's start. The accomplishment of one's goals. Okay. The attainment of wealth, position, or honor. And then the last portion, a performance or achievement that is marked by the attainment of honors. So you can see here that it's mostly things that you can gather up, right? That wealth, that position of power, or someone honoring you. See, we have been conditioned to believe that success only comes in these forms. We have been taught that being wealthy is the ultimate success. Having a high status or position that brings power sometimes supersedes the wealth aspect, depending on who you are. But imagine if you have power and wealth, then you have made it, right? That's what society teaches us. Okay, so let's examine that from another lens. Let's just take somebody, right? Someone is extremely wealthy and lives in a multi-million-dollar mansion. That means they probably have a living staff, folks to tend to their needs. They even have a grounds crew on retainer. So no matter what, this crew comes through, they cut the grass, they make sure everything looks good around the outside of the house, the landscaping. Most would say that those individuals were successful. But to them, they look at the gardener as just being a gardener. They look at the maids as just being maids. And in their mindset, they're not really successful. You see, because the assumption is that because they work for you or don't have as much wealth as you, they can't possibly be successful, right? But the thing is, you don't know their backstory. See, the gardener is from a poor place and had to fight and crawl for everything that he has. The maid is from the projects and had to fight a different fight, but nonetheless fight. What maybe they don't realize is that, one, that gardener is actually the owner of the landscape company. And that maid, she actually owns the maid service. And they just happen to have a wealthy and powerful person as their client. See? Now you tell me if they're not successful now. See, the subjective part comes in because many judge success by the shoes that they're standing in. Let me be transparent like I always am. You see, my success comes in the form of my obedience to Jesus Christ. My success is tied up in the trials and tribulations that he's carried me and my family through. You see, he tells us to take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And you can find that little piece, that little nugget in Luke 12 and 15. You see, he reminds me that my success does not consist of things that I possess. You see, so for me, my success is based on, did I help someone today? Was I kind to people today? Did I respect you even though you hate me? Did I share the gospel of Jesus Christ to someone today? You see, success comes in many different forms. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that having nice things are against God's will, because it's not. I'm speaking more to the mindset that it doesn't or shouldn't define who you are, or the thought process of what success is. As a matter of fact, Jesus also tells us that it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. Yes, and that is in Matthew 19 and 24. Now, am I saying that a rich person can't make it into the kingdom? No. What I'm saying is that Jesus said that it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom. See, when we're so focused on the material things in this world, we miss what God has waiting for us. Money, cars, real estate, and jewels. They're actually short-term incentives compared to what's waiting for me in paradise. Now, see, that's the long game that I'm all in for. All right. See, this is good to me. This is good to me because when I speak to you, I'm speaking to myself. So my challenge for you today is to stop, take a pause, and think about what success really means to you. But while you're identifying that, don't negate or belittle what it may mean to someone else. You may also find out that it's the ones that you least suspect are the most successful. There are some people that are just fine working their 9 to 5 because there may have been a time in their lives when having that 9 to 5 was so far out of reach. See, we have to stop looking at success based on where we're standing. And it works both ways. You might be looking at someone and saying, man, they're successful. I want to be what they are. I want to have what they have. But you don't know their backstory. You don't know what it took for them to get to where they are. You don't know the hardships that they have faced along their journey to get where they are. Because the truth of the matter is, you might not be able to handle what they went through. They could have had some tragic loss in their lives that may have played a part and propelled them into where they are. So are you willing to lose people to be where they are? See, you got to look at the whole picture. So take a pause and think about what success really means to you. It truly is subjective because it's about what it is that you're chasing after. It's about what you believe that it is. Listen, I appreciate you all for listening, and I pray that you enjoyed it. If you would like to be a blessing, just click that link under the description. God bless you and keep building those bridges.